A thick fog covered the highway that night. The road stretched endlessly into darkness, interrupted only by the occasional flicker of a dim streetlight. A bus, old and rattling, moved through the mist, its headlights cutting through the void. Inside, the driver sat hunched over the wheel, his face blank with exhaustion. He had been driving for hours, and only one passenger remained. The passenger sat at the very back, his face hidden beneath the brim of his hat. He had boarded hours ago and hadn't moved since. No one had seen him come in. No one had spoken to him. But there he was, silent, still, watching. The driver glanced at the rearview mirror. Something about this man made him uneasy. The way he sat, perfectly rigid, as if carved from stone. The way the shadows clung to him, as if they refused to let go. The driver cleared his throat. "Sir, we're approaching the last stop." Silence. The driver felt a chill creep up his spine. He checked the mirror again, and for a split second, he thought the seat was empty. But then, no. The man was still there. The bus continued down the road, the fog growing thicker. The trees on either side of the highway became dark blurs, swallowed by the mist. The driver adjusted his grip on the wheel, his pulse quickening. Then, a voice. Low. Steady. "I need to go further." The driver swallowed. "This is the last route. There's nothing beyond the next stop." Silence again. The man didn't move, didn't respond. The driver forced a chuckle. "Where exactly are you headed?" The man slowly lifted his head. His face remained hidden beneath the shadow of his hat. "Home." A gust of wind howled outside. The bus shuddered as if the road itself protested. The driver didn't know why, but an overwhelming sense of dread settled in his chest. He glanced at the mirror again. The man's face was still obscured, but his posture had changed. He was leaning forward now, as if listening. As if waiting. The driver cleared his throat. "All right, sir, but I'll have to turn around soon." "You sure you want to keep going?" The man said nothing. The road stretched on. The fog grew thicker. The headlights barely reached a few feet ahead now. The driver wiped his brow, his hands clammy on the wheel. Something wasn't right. He checked the fuel gauge, half a tank left. Enough to get back. But the longer he drove, the more the road felt wrong. The last stop should have been 5 miles back. But it never came. The road didn't end. It didn't turn. It just kept going. The driver's breath quickened. What the hell? He slammed the brakes. The bus screeched to a halt. The world outside was nothing but white fog, endless and shifting. He turned to look at the passenger. Empty. The seat was empty. The driver's chest tightened. He scanned the bus, his heart hammering. The doors were closed. The windows locked. There was no way out. He was alone. A whisper. Behind him. He turned slowly. The man stood right there, just inches from his face. His hat was gone. And his face. There was nothing. No eyes, no mouth. Just smooth, pale skin stretched over an empty skull. The driver screamed. The bus plunged into darkness. And then, silence. Morning arrived with golden light piercing through the trees. The fog had vanished, leaving only the stillness of the empty road. A search team found the bus parked neatly at the side, engine still running. But the driver was gone. Only his uniform remained, folded neatly on the driver's seat. And at the very back of the bus, the last passenger sat, his hat low over his face, waiting. Waiting for the next driver to take him home.